Mike Steph, this marks a new beginning. Thanks for supporting a total reinvention. The soul is still here, but the vibe's a little different. Unpredictable, hide the kids and the women. Sports of all sorts, music, mixed for living. Rep New York City, but ain't the politician. Always bring the heat, Steph, bacon in the kitchen. Big shout to y'all, I appreciate the listen. Donnie put the rest, but I'm still in the best. In the world of what I do, all y'all know the rest. I live it, I breathe it, I'm the whole definition. The pinnacle, the ultimate, I'm on a new mission. The Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, the best in the world of what he does. Tap in. What up, people? I said, what up, people? Welcome to another edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, best in the world at what he does. Yeah, man. How's everyone doing? How's everybody hanging? I am doing pretty good myself. I'm not going to lie. I'm freaking exhausted. Yes, I am exhausted for numerous reasons, but one reason in particular right now. As I record this podcast, this is actually my third recording of the day. Yes. Pat on the back to me, because I am a marathon man. I am a 60-minute man, if you will. I had a guest spot. I was the guest of none other than Desmond of Hip to the Games, which that episode will be coming out this coming Friday on the YouTube channel of the 19 Media Group and all streaming platforms. Wherever podcasts are available, you can check out Hip to the Games by Desmond, featuring yours truly, Mike Steph, in which we took a trip down memory lane to the 90s in particular. And I had my recollections of none other than Knicks legend John Starks in the fourth installment of If You Were There, Wish You Were There. Damn, because I was there. And that was a time. 90s, 92, 93, 94, 95. The heyday of the Pat Riley, Patrick Ewing, New York Knicks. And that was my play of choice for the subject at hand, John Starks. And just please check out Desmond, Hip to the Games, 19 Media Group, YouTube channel, and all streaming platforms wherever podcasts are available. So that was recording number one. Recording number two was me and my co-host, the Mojo King, on another edition of Hidden Gems Football. And I know you're probably like, another edition? Another edition? What do you mean another edition? Well, this is our second edition. Y'all just haven't seen the first edition yet, in which we started our preview of the NFL, upcoming NFL season, going division by division by division by division, times two. By the time this hits your ears, this coming Thursday, we will be dropping episode number 1 of season 3, in which me and the Mojo King recapped, or should I say previewed, the NFC and the NFC East. But today, we was actually recording for the NFC South. South. Talking about such mediocre teams as the New Orleans Saints, and also reigns as the Carolina Panthers, and 3-time champion, but not a team that you won't be able to take lightly, because why not? Shoot, this 17-17 in the last 2 seasons, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and last and definitely not least, a team from the state of Georgia, a team from the city of Atlanta, a team that, you know, a certain someone claims as their own, Mr. Low Fat Beats himself. So, yeah, we recapped or we previewed the NFC South today. So, I've already recorded 2 episodes on different platforms today. And of course, I had to leave myself to be the last one because this platform, don't get me wrong, I love each and every one of y'all, and I appreciate each and every one of y'all for your patronage, for your listenership, for your viewership, for your interaction with the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph. But if there was one that I could actually postpone if I chose to, it would be this one. You know why? Because this one is mine. Duh. And but I figured, I was like, I'll persevere. I will actually go through and work through my hunger pains right now because my wife made a delicious dinner. My wife made stuffed salmon, and she she cooked up some ribeye steaks with some broccoli. So I chose to refrain from eating so I can make sure that I give y'all this podcast, this show, and give y'all my lovely face that y'all not only need to see, need to hear, but y'all deserve to see. Y'all deserve to hear. Because also, if I would have ate, I probably would have got a major case of itis, and I would have been like, yo, I'll see y'all next week. Unexpected. But there's so much there's so much news going on that I just had to make sure I dropped in a reasonable amount of time that I normally would drop. Usually I drop late Sunday night, early Monday morning. Well, it looks like I'm going to be dropping late Monday night, early Tuesday morning. Because some news actually fell in my lap this weekend. Actually, since Friday, the news has just been coming. First and foremost, I'll be talking about the ongoing ramifications of whether or not President Biden should drop out of this upcoming election. Should he drop out? Should he stop his re-election bid, if you will? There's a growing amount of Democrats. There's a growing amount of people in his home party that are positioning behind the scenes, readying for that hatchet in the back, trying to be Julius themselves, trying to be Brutus, if even. And I figured I'd get my 2 takes on that subject because, campaign season is heating up, election season is heating up, and when election season heats up, guess what? That's when the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph gets just that damn good. Topic number 2, tell you the truth, is something that just happened a day or 2 ago, and that would be a shooting occurring at Agent Orange. Oh, my bad, I forgot. For those who don't know, one of Donald Trump's campaign rallies, there were shots fired. Dare I say, there was a lot of bang, 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 bang. And I'm not saying that to make light of the situation. No. But regardless, at least 2 people lost their life, and Trump supposedly got grazed in the ear. The blood was showing, but there's a reason why I'm saying supposedly, because there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. Whoa! It's only smoke and mirrors when it comes to anything Donald Trump related. So I would give my 2 cents on that situation. And last but certainly not least, because I do specialize in sports talk, I will talk about my beloved New York Knickerbockers. Yes. And the news that came out Friday afternoon, Friday evening, in which Jalen Brunson, star point guard, star player, not F that, superstar player extraordinaire, decided to re-sign with the Knicks a year earlier than he could have to get maximum bucks. He decided to re-sign for 4 years, $156 million. And the topic on this here program will be whether or not his magnanimous decision entitles him to be called the King of New York. Yes, gotta listen on to find out exactly why I'm some people are giving him this title and why I'm co-signing such title. So all that and maybe a little bit more on this edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. Before I get this show up and running, something happened to me the other day that really has me thinking. It's almost like when I say everything is 360 degrees in rotation, I swear anytime I might change my outlook on that things on that things happen to prove my initial thought right. I was just talking to the Mojo King. I said, you know what? This is very parallel to last year. Last year, I took a lot of time off in July. I think I only dropped one episode in July. And guess what? I took some time off this July. Not only that, not only that, not only that. Last year, I noticed my episodes around Ju- end of June or early July end up going about 2 hours or so. And guess what? My last two episodes broke that 2 hour barrier. But one other thing happened that I'm not saying I wish would have happened because that wouldn't be the case. One thing would happen is this. The thing that's happening is a reoccurrence of a situation that I discussed last year. It's something that I swear is something about me and a freshly trimmed beard, a freshly cut hair, a freshly um, groomed Mike Steph that sends people into a frenzy. And I'm not talking about my lovely wife, Mrs. Ooh. Oh, how I wish I was talking about Mrs. Ooh. Last year, I did recollect a story in which I was walking down the block, fresh from coming from my Dominican barbershop of choice, and this dude stopped me, and he was like, "Yo, you can't say what's up to me." And I'm like, "Nigga, I don't know you, don't know you." But I kept my calm, I kept my cool. I'm not gonna go back into that story because I got a new story, unfortunately, to replace that old story. So yesterday, I got up and went to make sure I got a haircut because me and the missus were going to our niece's baby shower, and I wanted to make sure that you know I was that simply dashing individual that everybody has known to come and love. And of course, it was actually past time for me because I'm about to go back to my shoot job after a 9-day hiatus, and I wanted to make sure I looked proper. So this time, I'm crossing the street, or I'm waiting to cross the street, and all of a sudden I hear somebody in a very high pitched voice like, "Hey, hi, hey, babe, how you doing? Yeah, you." And because it was kind of, I wouldn't say it was early, but it wasn't that many people outside. I'm looking around. I'm trying to figure out where this this talk is coming from and who is actually mouthing these words and who are they directing it toward. Unfortunately, probably directing it toward me. So who the hell? Guess what? Guess what? How could I be discreet when I say this? The car was driving by and just so happened it got stuck at the light. So I asked you to have eye contact. And there was a guy sticking his head out the window. He looked like a mix of Beanie Siegel and Faison Love with the do-rag. And he's looking at me. And when I say I could swear, I could see the drool come out of his mouth like he was rabid with rabies. It would be an understatement. Which brought me to this question. Is this something spectacular? Is this something out of the ordinary for when I get out of the barbershop and I'm walking that I have these strange, weird interactions on my way back to the house? Look, I just got a regular, got a regular, regular shave. The salt and pepper does blend in. Matter of fact, I wasn't even dressed up yet. Just had some shorts on. I had my ding dong. Hello. You know what? Maybe that's the case. Maybe they saw ding dong, hello, and figured they wanted to say hello. Maybe that was the case. I don't know. I digress. And you know what? I'm probably gonna get out. I think I'm gonna get out of this subject before I really dig myself into a hole. And I ain't trying to have no problem with the alphabet boys. So, with all that being said, I'm getting up out of here. We're gonna get this show on the road. Without further ado, good night and goodbye. Bang. Many men wish death upon me. Blood in my eye, homie, I can't see. I'm trying to be the best I can be, but niggas wanna take my life away. I put a hole in a nigga for fucking with me. Ain't no, now you gon' see. Many men, many men wish death upon me, Lord. I don't cry no more. Don't look to the sky no more. Have mercy on. Only reason I'm saying that song is because listen, 50 did it himself. He was performing, and he actually had a picture of Trump behind him while he was singing Mini Man. I more would be on the spectrum of bang, bang, bang on the door, baby. Bang, bang on the door. Bang, bang on the door, baby. Bang, bang on the floor. I'm getting all my little jokes out right now because in reality, yeah, I can get my jokes in. I'm not going to say it's not a joking matter, but it's more serious than people do realize. Um, Matter of fact, one of the last ones I'm going to put out is this. One more. Well, due to StreamYard, I'm not able to actually put the video up that I want to. Maybe it's for good reason. But either way, shots were fired at the Trump rally this past Saturday. And the first thing that I have to say is the shooter and at least one bystander were killed. Trump's ear was bleeding. And the first thing that came to my mind is the obvious. Was this a setup? Meaning, was this staged? Was it? I mean, you know, I know it might sound and seem insensitive for me to even bring that possibility up, especially since lives were lost. But Remember, January 6th happened. Think about that. Remember that. January 6th happened. Lives were lost on January 6th. People died that day. He was behind that to try to stay in office that day after being voted out. He was conspiring to make sure that Mike Pence was not available to give his vote and to perhaps have assassination attempt on Mike Pence on January 6th, 2021. So this is not beyond the realm of possibility that what we saw, what we witnessed on Saturday during that rally was a psyop, so they say, some actors, if you will, or people willing to put their lives on the line for the cause. Yes, that's right. I said it, for the cause. Like, if I go back to this picture, because I actually got out the picture a little bit too early. His defiant pose after being grazed in the ear with blood trickling down his cheek plays into the narrative that he wants to portray. What better way to galvanize anybody that might be undecided or skeptical of him being the better choice than Biden than to look death straight in the eye and stand strong? Really. Now, that leads me to another point that actually got thrown in my lap. I'm going to keep names out of it, but I had someone I was talking to someone over the weekend about this, and they said the following: "Yo, I didn't know. Good thing they bringing assassinations back." Something to that effect, or yeah, they bringing assassination back. Yeah, I'm like, whoa, Kimosabe, slow down. And this, I'm not even going to say that. One of the reasons why I didn't agree with that statement was the following. If you actually lived through assassination attempts or successful assassinations, then you have a different perspective than someone who has never lived or experienced or seen that happen in real time. I'm 47. I'll be 48 next month. I was born in 1976. I remember, I know President Reagan did get shot. He caught a hot one. I want to say in 80, I want to say in 81. I want to say there was another attempt on Reagan. I might be mistaken. When we was growing up, when we was going to school, it was still less than 20 years prior, around 20 years prior, that we had the assassination of JFK. Yeah, conspiracy theories abound over that. Movies were made, documentaries were made, so forth. We had successful assassination of JFK. We had the successful, unfortunate assassination of Martin Luther King, and we had the successful assassination of Malcolm X, amongst others. So when you've either lived through that or you were alive not too long after these events took place, you have a different mindset, you have a different thought pattern when a statement like that has happened. Now, I do agree. Matter of fact, I understand the sentiment of people who are saying, well, Trump, if this was the reverse, do you not believe that Trump, the first one of the things that would have came out his mouth was, see, which guy, the shooter couldn't even shoot straight. That's the like something to that effect. Or Biden is lucky the shooter couldn't shoot straight. The shooter couldn't even do things right. Or this is the same man who was laughing, I believe, after Nancy Pelosi's husband got hit with a wrench. Or, you know, the famous words of there were good people on both sides when the Tiki Torch March in Charlottesville, Virginia happened. Or stand by, ready, be ready and stand by right around during numerous Black Lives Matter marches. Or when the riots start, the shooting starts. Something to that effect. Right around that time where we had the Black Lives Matters marches, especially the marches dealing with George Floyd and the like. This man has committed some reprehensible actions. And I am not caping for him whatsoever. I'm not even saying that people should not crack their jokes. Something in me right now is not allowing me to. Something in me right now, and it goes based on a post that I read, that at the end of the day, it's in our being to spread love, not to continue evil. I'm paraphrasing right now, but that's the sentiment. So as much as part of me wants to say eye for an eye or what have you, we have to preach love in these times. The only thing you're beholden to is who and what you believe in. Nobody else. Not for likes, not for views, not for pats on the back, not to be on the in crowd, what have you. So I say that fully is fully my intent, because like I said, I could go wild and I'm choosing not to. But conspiracy theorist Mike is saying this. Did y'all not notice? And that's why I'm so pissed off that StreamYard is having a problem with the video uploads, because I really want to go step by step, but I can't do it. But for those, and I'm quite sure the majority of people watching this have seen the video, has seen the footage of the shooting. At first, the first thing Trump does, you hear pop, 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 and Trump does like this. And then he ducks. And then you see the Secret Service swarm. Conspiracy theorist Mike is thinking, I don't know, maybe because I grew up in the hood, maybe because unfortunately I've been on a site where there's been an active shooter, and I know maybe they say the best thing is not to run because that makes you a target. But as far as I know, especially fear, the first thing you want to do is get out of that vicinity. You want to get out of there. Did you see anybody running? Just asking. Did you see anybody running? Everybody ducked. And from the vantage point that we were seeing with the video, maybe the people behind him had a better view and saw that the shooter was taken out, or the suspected shooter was taken out. But when Trump did the triumphant fist in the air, there was a loud audible applause. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's our man. Yeah. Even look at this picture. The Secret Service is trying to usher him off stage, and he said, "You know what? I gotta get this flick in. Put my fist in the air. Had the blood trickle down my cheek, conveniently into my lips, and I'm gonna put the fist up in the air with Old Glory waving in the background." 2 days before the Republican National Convention. I'm sorry. This to me is just a little bit too tidy, just a little bit too convenient. And like I said at the very beginning of the segment, once January 6th happened, you can't discard anything. You can't discard any possibility of anything happening. I mean, there's still people that to this day don't believe that Trump actually had COVID toward the end of his presidency. It was just like too convenient. Like he got COVID, and all of a sudden, a couple of days later, he's up and walking. He just, somebody mentioned to me that he is just that stupid that he wants to be the John Wayne. He wants to be the man that braves and has no fear. Because I was like, well, because somebody was like, well, I was like, well, since he had his head, everybody was ducking down and trying to get him off the stage, and all the Secret Service heads were kind of lower than his, and yet he was a perfect target because he wanted to get a flick in. And then people was like, the guy was like, yo, he's stupid. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. This is the same man who looked at a solar eclipse without the glasses and said, you know what? I know they said don't look at the eclipse without glasses, but so we aren't dealing with a Rhodes Scholar here. Tonight at the RNC convention, and this is breaking news. He actually chose his running mate. And his running mate is J.D. Vance. Is going to be the vice president nominee. Why? Who is J.D. Vance? I don't know. Oh, matter of fact, he's an Ohio senator from Middletown, I believe. Middletown, Ohio. And let's see if I can get away with this.
Just 2 days after the attempted assassination on former President Donald Trump, all eyes are on Milwaukee for the Republican National Convention.
Just 30 minutes ago, former President Trump was officially named the Republican presidential nominee.
And he also officially announced his vice president running mate on Twitter moments before that. WFMY News 2's Joseph Leonard joins us in studio. Joseph, what can you tell us about what happened so far at the convention?
I've been following the RNC convention closely all day, and just after 3 p.m., Donald Trump announced his running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance. Now, this comes as more than 2,400 delegates filled the arena for a roll call to kick off the RNC. Now, Trump made the announcement on Truth Social as delegates were taking the stage, pledging support for him. Now, the Ohio Senator is expected to speak at the convention today around 4:30, but this convention is unlike any other we've seen in quite some time. That's because it comes on the heels of President Trump's assassination attempt. So I want to paint the picture of the tight security in and outside of the convention doors. Now, earlier today, I spoke with a group of High Point University students who are in Milwaukee for the DNC. They're working as showrunners for CNN, and they tell me there are police officers and security around every corner, and some of those officers are from right here in Greensboro.
There's a very visible area of the city that is claimed by the RNC. You know, it's 4 blocks are walled off and gated off, and just
This
filled
is
with
supposed to be
cops.
like,
There's
who
police
is
officers.
JD VC? What the hell is his name? JD Vance. I don't care about the security. You don't think they're gonna have security up the wazoo after he done got shot at, after he took one, or conveniently nicked his ear to get that trickle of blood down in a very, very pristine and picture friendly way. I'm just saying. Listen. The last thing I'll say about it is this, because I got another issue I need to attend to. Do people not realize that Trump, if the attempt was successful and he was out of here, do you think it would just be as simple as now all the problems are solved? Or do you not realize that the probably would have caused more problems than we currently have right now. He would officially be a martyr. And everybody who's ready to ride to the death, ride or die for Trump would be emboldened to avenge his death. For all the worries about a civil war in the eventuality that, I shouldn't say eventuality, but the fact that he might be elected again or reelected. Do you not think that going into the election, if he would have got taken out, then all the nut jobs would have been emboldened, saying, "Look, it was Democratic hit job. You know, Biden knew he was about to lose, so he had to take out the competition, especially a couple of weeks after that horrendous debate performance." Listen, there's a lot of things that's going to come out the woodwork. They're investigating the shooting. I wonder if they're investigating the validity of the shooting. But there's a lot of things that are going to be going to come out the wash. Year 2024, there's so many things, and I just realized I don't even got my headphones on. That's why I feel so lightheaded. But in the year 2024, there's a lot of truths being told. There's a lot of secrets being exposed, and it would not surprise me, at the very least, that some information comes out about this attempted assassination and comes out right around the time, beginning of November, right before election time, election day. What side is going to favor? I have no idea. I personally believe that we should, unfortunately, prepare for the worst. This week, even more people in the Democratic Party are calling for President Biden to drop out the race. Celebrities such as George Clooney wrote an op-ed on urging Biden to drop out. Nancy Pelosi has been behind the scenes saying the same, but in public playing the balancing act. His speech during the NATO meeting was shaky, with him misspeaking per usual. I believe he called Zelensky President Putin. That's another gaffe that he did. I think he said Vice President Trump when he was referring to Kamala Harris. Oh, I'm such an ass. But what's messed up about this whole situation is this. By them making them, meaning the Democrats, by them making such a public, making this such a public spectacle, it's actually shielding Trump from all the flaws, all of his flaws, to a certain degree. Like, do y'all understand what needs to be said? What needs to be said, what needs to be said is the obvious. Do we want to give any hope away and allow a man whose last time during the term in office conspired and allowed the terrible actions of January 6th to take place? Storming the Capitol, hunting Nancy Pelosi and the rest of the Democratic Party and trying to hang them with nooses. Do that more than anything should disqualify this man right here as being an option. But no, as per usual, the Democrats shoot themselves in the foot and allow doubt to obscure the supposed mission. Above all else, above the felony convictions of hush money and the like, treason should be at the top of that effing list. But nah. Let's everyone fight for the perceived power vacuum that's going on in the Democratic Party and screw this all the way up and screw this up at the very last possible moment. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's just do that. You know, do you know that there's a number of donors, according to this report that I read, and I quote, there's a number of donors that have told the largest PAC, Political Action Committee, supporting President Biden that they are keeping their wallets and their checkbooks closed while the 81-year-old remains the presumptive Democratic nominee. The frozen pledges from the Future Forward PAC are worth approximately $90 million. $90 million. And include multiple contributions of $10 million or more, the New York Times reported this past Friday, citing two sources familiar with the situation. One donor told the New York Times that he had rebuffed approaches by Future Forward for contributions multiple times since Biden shocked the world with his disastrous performance on the June 27th debate with the presumptive, and now might as well say the official Republican nominee, Donald Trump. Now, here's where the getting gets good. And here's where the fatal flaw is being exposed. Supposedly, or reportedly, the Clintons and the Obamas and current power brokers such as Senator Schumer of New York, Senate Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, and Nancy Pelosi are being urged to use their stroke to make Biden step down. As my lovely daughter Mia just entered the apartment. Is it too hot for you, Mia?
Yeah, we can turn it on the AC. You like sitting in the heat? I'm sorry. Would you like me to like bother you after your podcast? Because I don't want them to think I'm bullying you, and I'm not.
No, she is not putting in me whatsoever. Okay. But I have a question.
Yes.
Since you wanted to make yourself, since you wanted to make yourself known on my Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast, my broadcast, if you will.
Did I say that? Or did I? You know, go ahead.
Do you believe that Biden should step aside and allow someone else to?
gotta finish that question. Yes.
Oh, I wouldn't advise you to sit there.
Okay.
Sit there. If you don't want, I mean, you can sit next to me if you want. Okay. It's up to you. Okay, so you can sit over there, so you're out of the view. Yeah. Do you believe that? Oh, matter of fact, do you think that Biden should step aside and they should come up with another nominee?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, why? First of all,
speak up a little so that Mike can pick you up.
Yes, because I feel like these last 4 years we weren't really promised what he was really. Oh, you can't hear me?
Go ahead.
Oh, my fault. I said these last 4 years we weren't given what he promised that he was campaigning last election.
Such as?
I think what was it? Student debt was gonna be like relieved or something. Like only a very small percentage of people got like their student loans forgived or whatever. Like they're good, but it just wasn't. There's still a majority of them that's still like, I still owe X amount to like, Department of Education, whatever. Sorry, I'm out of breath. It's hot. The heat is distracting me from this conversation.
Is that Biden fault too?
I think it is Biden's fault. Oh, wait. I think he
I could be wrong, but it was also like something to do with like climate change. Him and Miss Silk Press, they didn't do
Silk Press. Who? Kamala?
yes.
Oh wow!
They just
we got a new nickname. Miss Silk
they
Press.
didn't. They just didn't live up to what they. It's. I'm sorry. Talking about this is so frustrating.
Silk
Like,
Press. Huh.
Miss Silk Press.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
It's just. I there's so many reasons. I'm sorry. I'm too hot to really.
Listen, take your time.
But yes, I do. I strongly believe that Biden should Trump too, but that's impossible. But Biden should really just like step aside and let somebody else, like another candidate, really just take over, because he just I don't even believe, as much as I really want to, he's still not the greatest option. I don't believe he's gonna get a second term. I really feel like, since this country is so excuse my language, so I don't want to curse, so dumb. These people are very fucking stupid. I'm sorry, they're so stupid. They are going to vote for Trump. I really believe that, and I really believe that we are doomed. So I'm hoping that Biden will really just like get it. It's nothing to do with his age, even though I feel like a person damn near in their 90s should like. That man is not 81.
I mean, neither here nor there, but I'm just saying, at the end of this term, if he got reelected, he'd be 86 at the end of this term.
I just feel like retirement is okay. Just like go enjoy the rest of your life.
Okay.
Out of office.
Let me ask you this other question, because like I said, I know you're tired. I mean, I know you're hot and you're bothered, so I'm not going to keep you here for so long. In this AC-less living room that I'm in, you see what I do? See what I give y'all to give y'all what y'all need, but neither here nor there. If not Biden, who?
So I forgot the names, but like one of the candidates were, I think, Cornel West. There was someone else. I know there's another lady. I can't remember their names, but when I find them, I'll send it to you and I'll have like a better answer.
Okay.
But for me personally, since I can only remember his name, don't like do your research. But Cornel West, because why am I blinking? His points, some of what he's campaigning was pretty good. I mean, it seemed a little less crazy than everyone else.
Okay.
I'll send it to you when I remember everything. But that's like one of them. I know he's my top one. I can't remember the other two that was just like, okay, they're decent. Like, but it's gonna be impossible, even if Biden drops out. Like, I'm done with this conversation. I can't.
Okay, I'm gonna ask one other thing, right? Because I keep on messing up this darn border, but at this point in time, I could care less. Do you believe that they should have, if anything, they should have been more prepared to have an alternative candidate and not wait until less than 4 months, less than 3 months before the general election? Like maybe there should have been another alternative due to these primaries that were legitimately a choice, instead of just saying we're going to ride with Biden. Uh-oh, mayday, red flag, we got to get Biden out of here.
Yeah, I thought like they already, like, why is that not a thing already to like have on either parties or all the parties? Like, why isn't that a thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't you have a backup if like this one?
Okay. No, I get what you're saying. And that is the major point. Like I said last week, that the Democrats dropped the ball by not having anybody in the wings prepared to pick up the ball just in case there was a dramatic drop in Biden's awareness, Biden's proficiency, so forth. God forbid something happened to him health-wise, there was nobody really ready to pick up the mantle and run with it. Now, normally when a president is running for re-election and everything is everything, they usually try to pool their resources and not split, quote unquote, split the ticket, and everybody supports the man that's because he's already in office. Everybody supports him running for re-election. That's why there wasn't so many multiple choices. Like when there's an open election, you have multiple choices, and then whoever comes out the primary the way it is, then now, all right, once he won the primary, now we're gonna throw all our votes to him. We're gonna put all our support to him since he already was the serving president.
My thing is, if y'all already knew what that's also a part of my frustration. Like I said, these last 4 years, they just weren't it. Like he just anyway. Like who's still willing to vote for this man? That's what I'm trying to wrap my head around. Like why are you pushing for a second term with either one of them? I'm still very much confused as to why someone with 32, even though you said that doesn't even count, it doesn't matter. Why? So that is a convicted felon and he's running for president. Like anyone can run for president at this point. Why are you looking at me?
No, I'm listening. I'm listening.
That's so. I'm sorry, not to, but it's like conversations like this. Like, what's the point? I understand what the point is. It's a rhetorical question, but it's like nothing's gonna change really. We could try to push one in there, and they could promise change, but it's really not gonna change. This country is so backwards. It's frustrating.
So you're telling me at your young age that you're already apathetic to the whole process? No, I'm truthfully, I'm just asking. I understand, but I'm just asking. I'm asking.
Slowly getting there. It's just America ain't it for me. It's not. Like as soon as I get enough money to really like fly out somewhere, like move somewhere else, I will.
Move where? You going back to the motherland?
I'm gonna go back to yeah. Or I could try Trinidad. Find a lost fan.
Let you know, when we come from the mainland, they look at us like Yankees.
It's cool. They don't learn to love me. I'm a very lovable person. I do that.
Okay.
I adapt quickly. Just gotta find them real quick. That's about it. Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't much used to this conversation.
No, I know. I always want to get your point of view when it comes to stuff like that. Like, yeah, I mean, listen. I'm speaking from a point of view of a 40-year-old black man that's been through multiple administrations. Like, sure, I don't remember Carter, but I remember Reaganomics. I remember Bush Part 1. I remember Clinton for 8 years. I remember Bush Part 2. Like, these are all the presidents that I've been under. So I have, but for somebody of your generation, if I have them available, like, and we've always talked about politics over the years or whatever, so it's not like this is a foreign topic that we're talking about. So yeah, your opinion is your opinion. Your thoughts are your thoughts.
It's like, how do we even know Obama? Like, I'm starting to read. We're not even gonna get into that. Obama was great. He had his flaws, but he's great. But how do we go from him to Trump to Biden? Even though I just can't wrap. I can't get it, because as soon as that man got into office, all his colors start, like his true colors start to show.
Who?
Biden.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
And it pissed me off so badly. And I'm not really into politics like that. I should pay attention a lot more. But it's just it irked me so badly, because like you were under it. I can't.
Listen, I know I've told you before, and I'm going to tell you again. We got Trump based on Trump was the quote unquote revenge of 8 years of a black president.
No, I know.
And the only reason we got a black president was everybody was losing their savings and stuff that normally wouldn't get touched because Bush Part 2 was an idiot. So they was like, you know what? And I hate to say this, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. They looked around like, we got 8 years of the idiot, and we're starting to lose our 401ks. We're losing our pension. Matter of fact, we're losing our generational wealth, more or less. Put the nigga in office. We have nothing else to lose. This idiot needs to get out of here. And that's how. And that's pretty much since 2000. That's been idiot. Good guy. Idiot. Old guy now. So do we alternate back to an idiot? Seems like that's the kind of the way we're going from idiot to competency.
Gonna get Trump again, and I hate to say that. I hate to jinx it, but that's really what it's starting to look like. Trump about to be back in office. I don't know what else to say. Like that's our reality at this point. We are doomed. So doomed. You know?
Wow. And there you have it, folks. The voice of a young person. The voice of the generation. The voice of, I want to say a lot. She's actually speaking what a lot of people are thinking themselves. 8 years ago.
I really wish that, even though it's not confirmed that it was staged, but I really wish that bullet connected. I'm sorry, you're looking at me like that, but it's like I really just wish it. I don't know. I really wish the person that they hired to stage it, if it was staged, was just like, forget it, I'm gonna actually do it, and it just connected. Like he just.
Do you not understand the ramifications of that? If that would have happened, you think it would have been better? Do you really believe that would have been better?
Honestly, no.
So,
but
what?
It would have been one less idiot on this planet. No. This is me just talking out of. I know that's like the worst thing to ever wish on somebody. So Lord forgive me. But the way I'm like, my mind's just programmed on this whole election. It's just like, I can't. I'm sorry.
So you don't believe that getting rid of one idiot would have just sent thousands of idiots into a idiot frenzy?
Well, then we just.
You understand what I'm saying?
That. Yeah, I'm gonna keep my jokes to myself. I'll tell you off the back.
Okay. Okay. I mean, you know what? No. Okay. Granted. Like I'm willing to put myself out there to certain things.
No.
That's why I said I respect you.
Your 15 listeners coming after me.
Yo, did I just get a shot? She said my 15 listeners. That's crazy. She couldn't have said my 50. She couldn't have said my dozens and dozens. She said 15. Like she's looked at a statistic one day and be like, you know what? I think my pops should just give it up. 15.
I believe you would hit triple digits one day.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, speaking about Caitlin Clark.
Who is that?
Exactly.
I'm gonna.
Exactly. Did I not? You know what? I think I'm going to dig myself into a deeper hole if I keep on talking about statistics, and she just keeps on bringing her facts, her opinions. So, whoo, boy, wow. That was crazy. She not only she put a number on it, she said 15. Like I said, at least I cover it up. The dozens and dozens. She said 15. Wow. Woo. Matter of fact, I think we need to take a break real quick. As I was saying before, donors, power brokers such as Hakeem Jeffries and Nancy Pelosi are being urged to use this stroke to make Biden step down. What's on your screen right now is a picture of the facts of life late 80s, early 90s. Matter of fact, probably the late 80s with a very unknown actor at the time, George Clooney. Yeah, George Clooney was a part of the Facts of Life before they went into extinction. Kim Fields is still around, yes. Cloris Lachlan, Cloris Lachlan or Laughlin, Lisa Ritchell, Nancy McKeon, Summer Austin, Mindy Green, you know, the bunch. But how come that man who has morphed into this man, the most interesting man alive, how come they have the stroke that they do? Yeah, I know money makes the world go round. Money makes the world go round. But why does he have the power to kind of nudge this person? Matter of fact, this cocksucker right here, Chuck Schumer, and old lady Faithful right here, Nancy Pelosi. Why does George Clooney have the cachet to go to lawmakers and like, look, if y'all want to get this bread, I need y'all to tell old man Biden to sit down. Sit his old ass down. And I think right now that's becoming the problem. That's becoming the problem right now. And it's all going to come down to whether or not the donors are going to ante up the money that's quote unquote necessary to keep the campaign running, or are they going to withhold, like I said earlier, are they going to withhold their funds until they get the candidate of their choice? Once again, my thing is, y'all knew this was going to happen 4 years ago. Y'all knew this. Did nothing. And now y'all want to play a clandestine game of, let's see, who wants to make a millionaire to a certain degree? Who wants to tell the emperor that he has no clothes on? Anybody remember that old fable, the emperor has no clothes? Well, right now, President Biden right now is the emperor's new clothes. He has no clothes. He's naked. And all his enablers. Why is his inner circle consisting of his wife, his son, and numerous sycophants around him? Maybe because he's insulating himself with people that he feels that he can trust, even though they might not have his best interests at heart. At the same time, can you blame him for insulating himself with friends and family and close confidants after over 50 some odd years in Washington? He, like I said last week, he is the elite that he was talking about. And the Clintons and the Obamas and the Pelosi's out there that are praying for his downfall. I'm not saying they're even incorrect. To me, it's just the way they're going about it. It's just the way that it's happening, it's transpiring in front of our eyes. The one thing I've said in the past, and one thing I will say again, is this: the difference between the Democrats and the Republicans are kind of pretty much upfront of what they're about. They're about money, they're about power, and they don't care what they have to do and who they have to go through to get it. The Democrats are about the same thing, but they want to put on a front. They want to put on a front that, yeah, we're holier than thou. We're all about American values. No, we're trying to always do the right thing by the country. And if you were doing the right thing by the country, then you would have had foresight to know that everything that was happening right now was always going to happen. But of course, as normal, they're almost like an organization here in New York City that I always say that are always reactive instead of proactive. The Republicans have been proactive for years. Them getting Trump in office started the election of 2008. So it took them 8 years to galvanize the forces. And all throughout the Obama administration, they were galvanizing the forces to make this strike when there was an open election. All the packing of the courts, all the machinations of right now, why do you think our Supreme Court is moving the way it is? Because the Republicans, they was proactive instead of reactive. Reactive is, Ginsburg passed away, or Ginsburg passed away. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? Instead of, listen, we know you're here, we know you're fighting the right fight, but we need to put somebody in place of you before we lose the control to do so. That's being reactive. No, that's being proactive. Unfortunately, we got caught like Biden, buck ass naked. Jalen Brunson, this past Friday, signed an extension for 4 years, $156 million. He took a team-friendly deal 1 year earlier instead of going for the Supermax in 2 years, in which he could have gotten around 5 years for $269 million. Over the length of this deal, the Knicks will save $37 million in cap space. But more importantly, it keeps them out of the punitive area of the new CBA, which severely restricts them from signings, trades, etc. That dangerous second apron. Now he can opt out after the 3rd year in this deal and re-sign for what can be up to more than $400 million when he turns 31. Yes, indeed. He is betting on himself. Yes, indeed. He actually is putting championship aspirations in front of getting every penny that is present. Yes, indeed. Yes, he's setting himself up for the ultimate bag down the line. And why shouldn't he be confident that that will be possible? We've just seen a 35-year-old Paul George get 4 years for $200+ million. So why wouldn't it be available for Brunson to get his money after the new NBA TV deal is in effect, after the salary cap goes up, after all this? Why would it not be available for Brunson when his time is up? Like, I'm going to read this press statement that was sent out as soon as the ink was dry on this contract. And it says the following: Jalen Brunson signing this extension to remain with the New York Knicks for the long term shows the dedication and passion he has for the organization, the fans, and this city. Team President Leon Rose said in a statement. Jalen Rose has often called the Knicks his family, and we are beyond proud to have him wear and represent our orange and blue for years to come. Since Jalen Brunson has joined us 2 years ago, he has consistently led by example and continues to show a willingness to sacrifice for this organization. Sacrifice for this organization in order to win the ultimate prize. And that ultimate prize is the Larry O'Brien Trophy. That ultimate prize is the championship, a long-awaited championship for the city of New York, for the New York Knicks franchise. Look at all these things, all these factors. He signed for 4 years, $100 million when he started. That was $25 million a year, right? 2 years in, he's already increased that threshold from $25 million to going on almost $37 million for 4 years. And then, like I said in the past, like I said prior, after 3 years, if he still remains healthy, and especially if he's able to bring a championship within this 4-year window, he is eligible. He will be eligible to make almost $400 million on his next contract. But in the meantime, he's playing with 3 of his best friends and his 3 college teammates. He's playing for his godfather, who is the team president, Leon Rose, and he's playing for his father, Rick Brunson, who is part of the staff. Do you not think that he believes that he's going to be taken care of regardless? Sometimes people say, well, how much money can you make? How much money is enough? And that leads me to one grade A cocksucker by the name of Michael K. Instead of being praised like most in the city is doing for this once in a generation player for the New York Knicks, one man has his panties in a bunch. One man is spewing negativity in the face of a selfless act. That man is Mr. Big Head himself. That man is Mr. Yankee Boy. That man is Michael Cocksucking K. He went apocalyptic, coming up with all these things that could go wrong. How this was an unwise decision because of all the variables, like the coaching staff, like the whims of an owner, like injury concerns. If this was anyone else, it would have been lauded. And if Brunson would have took every penny possible, like every other player has done so in the past, it would have been thrown up in his face that athletes always talk about team first or the importance of a championship. But when it came down to the chip or when it came down to money, money would have won every time. Yankee Boy would be swinging off the rafters if Aaron Judge did such a magnanimous thing. He's still a Yankee, yes, because the Yankees gave him the most. He didn't give the Yankees a whole town discount, did he? Remember when it was rumored that the Padres put a big offer and the San Francisco 49ers put up 49, the San Francisco Giants put up a big offer for Aaron Judge, and everybody thought Aaron Judge was pretty much a goner until the Yankees anteed up that bread. What's the difference? What's the difference? Oh, it's not a salary cap sport. So what? He took every penny possible. What the hell has Aaron Judge won for the New York Yankees? I'll wait. What has he won? Has he won a World Series? Has he even gotten to a World Series? That's what I thought. So instead of celebrating the fact that we actually have a budding superstar, no, F that, not a budding superstar, a bona fide superstar that before he's able to use us for leverage like every superstar has done in the past, especially over the past 25 years to the New York Knicks, instead of being lauded for his loyalty, not only to the Knicks, but to his teammates that are coming up on extensions themselves, to the fan base that loves him, we got this dribble. We got this track. Gone are the days of players using the Knicks for leverage versus other teams. Gone are the days that the New York Knicks were considered the anti-destination for winning players. Listen, like I said, his father is the assistant coach. His godfather is the president of the team. His head coach, Tom Thibodeau, he's a big fan of. And all his Villanova buddies are on the team. What else does a man need? That's what he was probably thinking. The core around him, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Julius Randle, Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, Mitchell Robinson. Do you know what they all have in common? They're all between the ages of 26 and 29 years old, meaning they're all the same timeline. They're all the core of this team. This is the prime window of this New York Knickerbocker franchise, the New York Knicks team, on the heels of a 50-win season and the unfortunate elimination during Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. A finish that left a bitter taste in Brunson's mouth. I didn't hear all this scuttlebutt when OG Anunoby took every last penny to make sure that he got the bag. Do you know OG Anunoby is actually going to be making more than Jalen Brunson? And guess what? Jalen Brunson don't give a fuck at all. As long as OG is available to play, go ahead, get your money. Rumble, young man, rumble. I could care less. That's in his mind. You know what he felt? It's the unsatisfied feeling, despite the quote unquote success of this team. Listen, I would say there's pros and cons to how I played, Brunson said, after going on a playoff scoring tear that was comparable to Michael Jordan. The pros are I played well individually at some points in time during the playoffs. The cons are I didn't play well enough to help my team move forward. You can say I got hurt in Game 7, and that may be true. He did fracture his hand in the game against the Pacers. But he also said I wasn't playing well in Game 7 before I fractured my hand. We had a 2-0 lead in that series, and we had a 3-2 lead in that series. So it's hard for me to look at things individually when you don't help your team win. That's the words. Those are the words of a winner. Those are the words of the king of New York. Yeah, I said it. I said it. We're running it back with a key addition in Mikal Bridges. I just read right before I started recording that we signed Campaign to a 1-year deal as a free agent to give us some guard depth. Makes me wonder what's the corresponding move with that. I'm not going to lie, Campaign with a pain in our ass, pardon the pun, in that series against the Philadelphia 76ers. And if he can give us just a semblance of what he gave them last year and what he had given the Suns in years past, coming off the bench, that would be a key addition. Also, not saying he's going to be starting, not even going to say he's going to be a key cog, but just somebody who could run the point just in case we need to give Jalen Brunson a blow. I can't believe that we got people actually out here disparaging the name of Jalen Brunson, talking about he got hoodwinked, he got bamboozled, he got led astray by actually thinking about his fellow teammates, thinking about the team, thinking about his own abilities and being confident in his abilities to bring us to the promised land. And for the first time in almost 20 years, matter of fact, for the first time in 25 years, I really have a feeling that in the next couple of years, we're going to be battling for a championship. We're going to be battling for a Larry O'Brien trophy. And we're going to have Jalen Brunson to thank. Well, people, that brings us to the end of another edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for making me in this here podcast the one y'all choose to view and the one y'all choose to listen to. The reason y'all see IRS on the stage, front left or stage right, or whatever you want to call it, It's because IRS has gotten there, man, and IRS is definitely off my case and off my ass, at least for this year and the years following. Who knows? Maybe I'll dig myself a hole. Maybe I won't. Only time can tell. Next week, I have planned a very special edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. I'm not even going to tell you exactly how special it's going to be and what I have planned, but I expect to have a guest on my platform, a long awaited guest, a long sought after guest, and it seems like the stars have aligned. And unless something comes out the ordinary, we should be able to get that done. And it's something that's actually very, very important to me to get this done. Someone who really, really I respect immensely, and I call friend. So yeah, that'll be next week's edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. I'm not going to just drag anything out, so I'm going to get straight to the plugs. Plug number one is myself. The Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast, the audio edition, is available on the following platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music, amongst others. New episodes drop each and every Wednesday. Catch me out on the social medias. Catch me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Mike Steffens _. Catch me on the gram at Mike _Steph. And catch me on TikTok at Mike Steph _. Cash at me some money if you want to see me in 1080p. Yeah, I said it. Cash at me some money if you want to see me in 1080p. My Cash App is right down there scrolling. $ Donnie Mike on Cash App. And, of course, check out my new blog, MikeStephOrg.wordpress.com. You know what's so funny, because my daughter just made herself available again. And being the fact she had to make that comment about my 15 viewers, my 15 listeners, my 15 people that fans of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph. You know my Cash App, right? You know my Cash App, right? You guess. Yeah. Okay. So, don't you want to see your father in 1080p? Uh-huh. Don't you want to see your father in 1080p? Okay. Sure. So why don't you get a friend to get another friend to get another friend to Cash App $5 each to me, so I can actually go and be in 1080p and show the masses my simply ravishing face, my simply dashing face, my simply ravishing body. Okay, sure. Yeah, I got you. Y'all probably didn't hear that. My daughter's mockingly. She said, "Yeah, sure. All right. Yeah, I got you." Okay. Check out Hidden Gems Football, hosted by the Mojo King and myself, Mike Steph. New episodes drop during the NFL season. Matter of fact, new episodes drop starting this Thursday. New episodes drop each and every Thursday throughout the NFL season, throughout the preseason, throughout the regular season, throughout the postseason. We drop on the YouTube channel of the 19 Media Group. Hidden Gems Football, hosted by the Mojo King and myself, Mike Steph, drop new episodes each and every Thursday throughout the regular season, throughout the preseason, throughout the postseason, throughout the whole wazoo. And you can check us out on the 19 Media Group YouTube page. Please subscribe. Please like. Please press the notification button, so whenever we drop, you will be the first ones to see and hear it. Yes. And last but not least, matter of fact, double last but not least, and I dropped the ball here because Hip to the Games podcast, a part of the 19 Media Group, is available on all streaming platforms where podcasts are available, and they're available in 1080p crystal clear vision on the YouTube page of the 19 Media Group. And this coming Friday, I am a host to Desmond when we discuss one of my favorite topics. One of my favorite topics, which is the New York Knicks. One of my favorite players, especially for the 90s, in his volume 5 to be exact. You had to be there. Yeah. When we give flowers to favorite players, whether it's star, whether it's a backup, whether it's just somebody that you feel like deserve their flowers right here and now, and then best believe I gave my flowers to not only John Starks, but you know me, Ramblin' Mike. I was giving flowers. Here, you get a flower, 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 and you get two. But yeah, please check out Hip to the Games with Desmond Powell and the 19 Media Group, because I'm going to be a special guest. Yay! I say that, but I really was honored to be on this platform. And Desmond is just he's such a cool dude, old soul. And trust me, I'm going to eat in a very few minutes because I'm wrapping it up right now. See, my wife is like, look, we know you haven't ate all day because you've been on this podcast grind, and we need you to make your plate so I can put my food up and that I could actually put this yummy food all in my tummy. So last but not least, I will give a shout out to my people from Gimmick Infringement, Winchester and McDowell, who drop each and every late Sunday night, early Monday morning on the YouTube channel of the 19 Media Group and on audio forums in all streaming platforms ever podcasts are available. But enough about me. Let them tell you themselves.
And now, podcasting from the sun-scorched desert Southwest, weighing in at a combined total of 340 pounds, Brad Winchester, Tyler McDowell Blanken, are Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell Blanken. Tyler, it is Money in the Bank weekend. Heatwave aired today. What a week of pro wrestling. How you doing?
I'm maxed out, Brad. In the best ways. We knew heading into this weekend it was going to be busy, it was going to be jam-packed. I say this all the time, but I got to mention it right off rip. We have so much to get into.
Yes.
In wrestling, in pop culture, maybe in our own lives. I know we have a few.
Yes. Check out the boys from Gimmick Infringement, Winchester and McDowell, each and every week, each and every late Sunday night, early Monday morning on this YouTube channel of the 19 Media Group. But I know I said last but not least before, but I definitely have to say it now. Please check out Tyler's newest endeavor, 4AZ. It is, you know what? I wanted to get this right, so that's why I briefly paused for a minute. 4AZ is a movement led by Tyler McDowell for the educators in the state of Arizona, especially Black educators in the state of Arizona. I'm reading straight from the site, 4azteach.org. That's right, 4azteach.org. Black educators are 4% of Arizona's teacher workforce. Tyler McDowell Blanken is the founder of 4AZ, and he has 6 years of ELA teaching experience serving the communities of Marana High School and Cactus High. So, the podcast is about this. Black educators make up 4% of the Arizona teaching workforce. Join Tyler as he welcomes guests to discuss their path toward education and the realities of the profession and finding community. And here's a little clip from his podcast.
4AZ. I'm your host, Tyler McDowell Blanken, and we are rolling out the yellow carpet once again for another fantastic guest, Trevor Knox. Have you ever met a colleague and right away you just knew you would become fast friends? Well, that was the vibe when I met Trev about 2 years ago. Trevor comes from a family of Arizona educators. He grew up in Phoenix, ultimately graduating from Arizona State University. He's worked at a community center, served as a secondary history teacher, and currently works at ASU's Teachers College. During this conversation, we discuss his path to the classroom, chaperoning school dances, transitioning to higher education, and the Splash Brothers. That said, thank you for tuning in. The reception to our first 2 episodes has been absolutely amazing and so humbling. If you enjoy what we're creating, please take a moment to like, subscribe, share, review, all the things. All right, it's time. Here is Space and Grace, a conversation with Trevor Knox.
See them. Be them. Such words, such a slogan. It's more than a slogan. Tyler is intent on making that not just words on a border of StreamYard. No, he's intent on making them a way of life. He's intent on making that a movement, and he's well on his way. Young Obama, peace and love always. And with all that being said, I'm going to get out of here while the getting is good, because I actually got 91 minutes and change. Okay. Woohoo! Back in the high life again. Closing over open time. We'll open up again. I'll be back in the highlight again. All the doors will close one time. We'll open up again. Goodbye. Should I say goodbye? Damn it. Stitch, say goodbye.